everybody, welcome to the newest corner of the tea set. I just thought it would be easier to move kind of the personal stuff over here, and then that way it's not interfering with the reacts so much, because when I do the reacts they tend to be quite long anyway. Not everyone is here for the personal updates, so easier just to separate them out, and if anything happens to the other channel, we've got this one right here. So hi, thank you for being here, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to do so down below. Always supports the channel, it's very helpful, and I enjoy seeing the numbers go up, so thank you so much if you did. I just thought I'd chat a little bit. I know I've imported a lot of videos over, so if you got a ton of notifications, sorry about that. I know they're old videos, but I had to download them and then re-upload them, so hopefully I didn't miss any. I went through my back catalogue, I think I got them all, but I might have, who knows. So I thought I'd just follow up with a couple of things I did talk about before. I think the last time we spoke, that was it. I was taking my passports to HR because I had gone home and I'd updated my passport while I was there, so I'd had to travel back on like both of them. And I bought both of them, which I'm glad I did. I brought them with me. But the visa inside the old one was my entry visa, and once I got my IGAMA, which is my residency card, I didn't need that one, so they didn't bother transferring anything over. But when I went to HR and I messaged them and I was like, hey, I've got my new one, they needed both, so I'm glad I have both. But they just said, okay, yeah, bring it in. And then they were like, oh no, you need to make appointments here, there, and everywhere. And I was like, oh shit, I don't want to go to the passport office. But then it turns out that I can't. There was mixed reviews about that actually. Definitely at some point women couldn't go in. But when I made the appointment, there was a section like you could choose what you wanted to do, and then in brackets it had women. So there might be a women's section now. There didn't used to be. It used to be that other people had to take care of that. But my school isn't particularly great at communicating those, so they sent me the email saying you need to do this, and I sent them an email saying, hey, can you tell me if there's a time limit on this, because if there isn't, I'll do it during the long weekend and I won't have to miss school. And then they literally sent me exactly the same email. And I was like, well, if you want to play this game. So I sent them the same one. I was like, hi, yeah, received your email. Is there a time limit on this? Because if there is, I don't want to miss school. And they just didn't answer. We were in this stalemate for a little while. So I took it to them, and the driver ended up going, he was back in an hour or two. I literally got my passports back the next day. So everything's been updated now, which is great, because it had the potential to mess up. When you leave, be it for a visit or permanently, you have to apply for visas to do that, and your school actually has to approve you. My school is my employer, is my sponsor, and so they're in control of that, which is something I don't love about Saudi Arabia. I've been in countries before where you have to get permission to leave, and I don't enjoy it generally, mostly because I don't like being told what to do, but it also prevents me from, like, when I'm at home, what I might do if I've got a little bit of time and a bit of extra cash, I might just go through the last minute deals and be like, that sounds fun, let's get on a plane. Whereas here I can't do that. I can't just decide the day before the long weekend, actually maybe I will go do something and get on a plane. I have to give it a couple of weeks to be able to apply for the exit re-entry, and then for them to approve it. So it kind of sucks, and you've always got the possibility of, yeah, they might say no. During COVID, some South Africans wanted to go home, but the situation was so bad, and last time they got stuck and they flew them out, and they were not approving exit visas for them. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. The point of that is that if I had tried to do final exit, which is what I'm doing in a couple of months, and my passport hadn't matched, it would have caused a problem. They would have rejected the visa and I would have been stuck. So I'm really glad that I sorted it out, and then I'm pretty much, I think, knock wood, done with the preparations for the new place now. Because all of my paperwork I've sent over to them, and they've said, okay, I think we've got everything we need now. And aside from the very last week or two of school, you have a big list you have to get signed off at school, being like, you know, you've done your board, you've returned all your manipulatives, you've checked off this book, you've done your teacher box, you've done, you prep the things for next year and you get them ticked off by the supervisor, you've returned these books, you get ticked off by the librarian, that kind of thing. So I'll have that kind of exit sheet, but that's more school level than it is like country level. So the next visa-ish thing, fingers crossed, should be basically me receiving it at some point in July, I think he said. I think he said mid-July they go and get them, because I'm meant to go in mid-August. They told me to expect on or around August 17th, because I think they try and get people to arrive all around the same time so they can do all the entry things with them at the same time. I was included into an email chain a week or two ago where they said, okay, everybody who's arriving brand new next year, these are the other members of staff, these are all the new members of staff, this is where they're working right now, and this is the role they're going to take on, so we can kind of contact each other, get to know each other if we want to, and closer to the time they will add us to like a WhatsApp group. So it's quite exciting because the stuff is all kind of done. So that was the good news of last week. School was mental last week. Oh. So they decided about 2 p.m. Wednesday, we leave at 3:30 p.m. Yeah, they decided 2 p.m. Wednesday that we were going to have a fun day for the kids on Thursday. But not enough that we'd have this fun day, which isn't that hard to do. I was just like, I'm at the point where I'm pretty much done with the school. So when they said it, I just kind of laughed at how ridiculous it was that they were telling us right now and sort of lent into it. But then they decided, because a fun day is basically some kind of PE activity, some kind of art activity. We usually have a lesson that maybe isn't scheduled. So if we do have anything we absolutely need to do, like the spelling test or like the like giving out the books for the weekend or whatever, we can do it then. And one other activity. But on top of that, they decided, oh, and teachers, we want all the boards done for this campaign we're doing. So there's going to be an inter-grade competition, boys against girls, because it's segregated. Boys against girls, and like the winners is Starbucks. But it has to include student work. And we were like, okay, I think, what was our campaign? It was like something about sharing. I can't remember the exact title of it. But it was a sharing campaign. So we were like, okay, but you've scheduled the thing. Like, we have to do the board by the end of the day, but we're doing the fun day all day. And if you've scheduled these activities, when are we supposed to do the student work? And once we've done the student work, when do we have time to put that on the board? And no one had thought of that. So the day was a bit mad. And just to salt the wound, they were like, oh, and all of your outside boards, which are the boards just outside our classrooms, they all need to be changed by the end of the day. And if you don't change them, you're not allowed to leave. Now, those were actually due to be done, and I had just messed up. The file they sent around with the list wasn't well formatted, and I had just messed up that it was my turn, basically, because I'd already done one and I thought I wasn't doing another. So my kids didn't have anything for the outside board either. And I was like, oh God, the stuff we got through that first lesson. I came up with an idea on behalf of like my part of the grade. We ended up doing, the title was Kindness is a Chain Reaction. And then every class in my grade was given a different colored paper, and we cut strips, and we got all the students to write a sentence or two about like sharing and put their name on the back. We made paper chains and we put those up on the board. It was a really cute looking board actually, but I had suggested that because I knew it was quite easy. It didn't require much prep in terms of the materials, and it was very quick to do, but it still looked very effective and colourful. So we did that. I got them to write a short paragraph on natural disasters to go out on my board, because the natural disaster that is my life wasn't enough to display. And we were like, done, call it done, we're done. I had about 5 kids absent because they knew it was a fun day and they didn't care, so they didn't come into school. So I have to get them to write their paragraph, otherwise, it's not even a paragraph, their display sentences. Otherwise, parents are going to come and be like, why isn't my kid on this board? So I was meant to do that, but today I couldn't because I screwed my back up. So day before yesterday, I woke up to, you know, when you get a cramp in the back of your leg and you just drop out of life and want to die. You know, you just get like a proper Charlie horse and you're just like trying to breathe through it and it's awful. I'm prone to getting those, but I got woken up by like an alert on my phone, turned over and got something similar, but kind of in the back bottom area of my neck going into my shoulder blade. And it was awful, but then it just didn't go, like the sharp pain of it went away, but then I couldn't move my neck for a while. Like I had about that much movement. I could move it back, but then any way forward or in either direction was just a nightmare. So I had like hot compresses on it all day and I thought it was just starting to relax. And then I went to bed, I got up this morning and it was awful. And I was just like, oh no. And I put a compress on it before school. I showed up at school, we went over a few speed bumps, which was lovely. And you know, when you get out of somewhere, you're there and you're like, oh, I've made a mistake. Like I thought I could get through this and I can't. So I went inside and I must have looked awful. Oh, I just moved my head like that and caught it. I must have looked absolutely awful because 2 people came over to me in about 2 minutes. They were like, are you all right? You know? And I ended up going to our scheduler and just being like, I had, it was my light day, so I had like second period and the last 2 periods. And I was like, can I do my second period and can we get cover for the last 2? Because I think I need to go. I'll get through that because I think my second period was like math. I could do something book-based in my second period. And they were like, yeah, we'll have to change it because there's a few teachers out. So the floating subs we had were busy. So they were like, we're going to have to change it so you can just do all your lessons in the first 3 and then leave early. And I was like, okay, it sucked a little bit, but at least the stuff I had to do, I could get done. And I had limited range of motion, put it that way. And then I just called my driver. I was like, can you please take me to the place? And we went to the doctor because a few people had recommended like take some muscle relaxants and things, which definitely would have worked, I think. But I have to be really careful because I can't actually take NSAIDs because it gives you an elevated risk of stomach ulcers, which I'm already at an elevated risk for. So I was like, I need to go talk to the doctor and ask him, one, why is it still like this? Why isn't it getting better? 2, is medication necessary? And if it is, 3, could you recommend me something to help? Because this ain't okay. And it was fine. He gave me like, you can probably see a little bit of it here. See this patch, you know, those kind of muscle relaxant patches. They smell kind of like menthol. He gave me some of those enough for like 7 days because that way I can just put that on there and treat it that way instead of having it impact my stomach. And he gave me another medication that is not, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's not an NSAID. But he gave me that as well, which I actually have to eat something before I can take that. So I haven't taken it yet because I was just waiting for dinner. So hopefully the next day or 2, this should be fine. This feels amazing now, like this thing on my neck, at least like I've got range of motion back. It jars a little bit, but yesterday was not fun. I was just sitting on my couch like, I don't like it. Somebody help, why? And I couldn't believe I'd done it. Like I saw a comedian once and he was like, this is how you know you're getting old. Like it's your injuries not having stories anymore. When people go, how did you get hurt? And you just go, I sat down or I stood up. I literally went to bed. I hurt myself sleeping on like a soft pillow. Well, that was something else. My doctor was like, just sleep high up. And I was like, kind of. I have 2 pillows, which is not good for your posture. And he was like, yeah, take one of it. Please try to lie flat. It will be better. I was like, yeah, fair. So I'll take one of those pillows away as well. But thankfully, I had access to that. My school worked around it at the very least, and my insurance covered it. So I paid a nominal amount. Without insurance, I think it's about 350 SAR to go for an appointment, or it might be 250 for a general and 350 for a specialist, maybe. I might be misremembering that. But when you've got insurance, I've got Bupa, and so you pay like less than 40 for the actual visit, and then I paid a nominal amount. I paid like 12 SAR for the medicine. So it was all fine, like it didn't burn a hole in my pocket or anything like that. So the best it could have gone, and I'll just keep putting these patches on for the week and taking the medicine, and hopefully my body will calm down. Apparently it was just muscle spasms, whether it's stress or it's something else, I'm not quite sure. He was like, try and move your computer up, because I'm constantly sort of hunchbacked over my computer and I do need to get like a stand or something for it. But because it's a Surface Pro, it's not on like a self, what's the word? It can't stand up by itself. It's on a kickstand, but it has to have that kickstand. It's not freestanding, I suppose, where you can just move it and it'll stay there. So I can't get one of those laptop stands that puts it in a better position because it'll just fall forward. But I am thinking of replacing this computer soon. I was going to do it when I got to the new place, but I think like I'm finishing paying off my credit card when? Not this month, next month. And I don't really want to put anything else on credit, so I might just wait. I've got a new budget set up. I'll maybe do a video on my budget at some point, but I've got a new budget set up, and I'm just going to save a certain amount a month and maybe buy myself a new computer for my next birthday, because it's my birthday next week. So if I start saving from the new salary, which would be from September, then by the time I get to May, I'll have a couple of grand ready, and then I won't have to put anything on a card or pay it off, which would be lovely. So those are the plans at the moment. I feel like I had something else to tell you and I can't remember, but we'll leave it there for now because I've chatted enough. And like I said, thank you for joining me. I'm glad you're interested, and I suppose I will see you next time. Bye-bye.